Okay, you guys. Last week we featured a drunk penguin. This week, a drunk angel. Seriously, this thing weighs nothing. Nothing. She doesn't weigh anything. Oh, Angel. Our other tree was like this too, where we literally couldn't put anything on top. Oh no, now she's coming after me. Because it has no structural integrity at all. I mean, look at this thing. It's basically made out of wire and tinfoil and is completely hollow. It weighs nothing, and yet our tree is like, no! I was actually editing last week's vlog, just finishing up the thumbnail, and I looked up and I was like, oh no! She has been doing pretty well up until this point, but I don't know. I don't know if we have to go without. We'll see. We'll see if I can fix her. All right. It turns out I just needed 2 hands. She's still not super stable, like, but at least she's up right now. She's not, kneeling or something. Okay. So, what is going on, you might ask? I'm getting ready to chop up this guy. And the second I take a knife to onion, my eyes start watering so badly and they burn so much that I literally can't open them, which is problematic when wielding a knife. And Jonathan doesn't really seem to have an issue chopping onions, so normally I make him do them, but every once in a while he is either in bed or otherwise occupied, so I have to wear these bad boys. And it's funny because literally every time I do wear them, he gives me so much crap about it. And I can't figure out why. I mean, seriously. Who wouldn't want to wear one of these? A pair of these bad boys. They're awesome. They're beautiful. They're stylish. They're flattering. Oh yeah. Good morning. Yes, it is technically still morning. I mean, not that it matters to you guys, but hello. I am on my way to work. It is Tuesday, and I thought we would have a chat about random stuff. So today's, last week's vlog went live today, and I was talking to my sisters about what one of my sisters referred to as the zombie apocalypse Dollar Tree. And I was like, you guys, I don't think my description did the travesty of this place justice. I have pictures. So I'm going to insert those pictures in a second. I took these last year. So there's no Christmas stuff in the background or anything because they're not current pictures, but it looks exactly the same. So enjoy. Okay, so now that we've all gotten to see now we all understand why I was so shocked when I went to the Dollar Tree where I live, and I was like, it's amazing! There's nothing on the floor! Like, what? Yeah. Also, I am avoiding reading my audiobook. So I'm reading The Fifth Season by M.K. Jemisin, and it's a book I've been struggling to read, to get through for, I think, over a year now. I was trying to read it in ebook format, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna switch to audiobook because that's my silver bullet when I'm really struggling to get through something. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm really enjoying this on audiobook. Well, I got to a point, I've got 2.5 hours left, and the quests that all of the characters were on have either finished up or didn't work out or whatever. And now it's 2 years later and they're just living their lives. And I don't enjoy the characters enough to want to spend time with them just living their lives. To be clear, these are not poorly written characters. These are very well written characters. However, they are not people I would enjoy spending time with in real life. I don't think any of them are they're just not my kind of people.
which is fine. This is absolutely a personal preference thing. But it means that reading, like, daily lives of theirs is tedious. And obviously something's got to happen. There's still 2.5 hours left in the audiobook. Like, it's not an insignificant amount of like, pages left. But I'm just like, I could listen to that, or I could listen to Christmas music. So I only have 2.5 hours left, and I'm listening to it at 1.5 speed. So it's going to take me, what, like, math is hard, like an hour and 45 minutes or something to finish. And I haven't listened to it in like a week. I just like, ugh. I could finish that in one sitting at work, because we've got some like mindless like manual labor stuff that we do, and I usually just listen to an audiobook while I'm doing it. I could 100% finish that today at work while I am checking books in and like washing them. So maybe it'll happen, or maybe I'll be like, or I can listen to Christmas music. Who's to say? Yeah, so I think that's all I have to say. Man, less than 4 minutes. You guys, so cool. I am on my way to work still. And I changed my hair tie. And I was going from one freeway to the other, and I was on a big, like, cloverleaf loop thing. And a great blue heron flew, like, swooped from one side of the car to the other, because he apparently is, like, I don't know, nesting or whatever in the little marshy area that collects all the rain in the center of the cloverleaf. So not only did he fly right over my windshield, but then he just, like, gracefully floated over and landed right by where I was driving. I've seen them from like afar across the beach or whatever, but I've never seen one just like fly right in front of me. They are cool looking, super majestic, and I didn't realize, like, legitimately blue. I've, like, when their wings are tucked, they just look gray, and I'm like, okay, gray, blue, you know, like, whatever. The ends of his wings were legitimately blue, and I was like, so cool. Anyway, enjoy this, like, momentary nerd out, as I was just like, cool bird. Okay, bye. Hello. The guy in front of me, I'm sitting at a light, and the guy in front of me just, I'm guessing he's chewing tobacco and just spat on his window, and it was effusive and disgusting. Sorry, I was not expecting that. Good morning. I wanted to update you guys on the book that I'm reading, where I was talking about how I only had like 2.5 hours left. So I did listen to it yesterday, and as predicted, I got like 10 minutes in and a bunch of stuff kicked off, and there was a big reveal that completely changed my, like twisted everything that had happened so far in its head, which was cool. And I am more invested now than I was, but I have 29 minutes left, so I'm basically at the end of the book. I mean, there's still time for stuff to happen, and like the stuff that kicked off hasn't been resolved yet. But the problem is, this is the first book in a trilogy, and I am not invested enough to read the rest of the trilogy. But I still kind of want to know what's going to happen. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online and find somewhere where I can find a plot summary of the next 2 books and read those. Because I'm invested enough to, like, maybe spend an hour or 2 reading through, like, a really detailed plot summary of the next 2 books. I'm not invested enough to listen to, like, 50 hours of audiobook. Like, if I was to do both books. So I knew you were all waiting with bated breath to see if I just, like, leaned into all the Christmas music, or if I actually read. I will, let's see, I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to read the next half hour. I guess I could just listen to it on my way home from work today. I'm listening to Christmas music right now, not going to lie. I don't know if I said this yesterday, but the Pentatonics Christmas, Best of Christmas station on Amazon Prime, real good. So that's basically what I've been listening to on a loop for the last couple of days. Anyway, don't really have much else to say, so I'll talk to you guys later. back to my Christmas music. Good morning. If you're wondering if these are the same braids from 3 days ago, you would be right. Actually, 2 days ago? They're from Wednesday, today's Friday. You do the math. Yes, they are. Because, well, quarantine life. I just keep, like, repinning this part back as it gets progressively fuzzier and poofier. Such is life. I finished 5th season. I can't ever tell if you guys are straight or not. Finished 5th season, and I might actually have to read the other 2 books, which I don't say lightly. They're not short. They're like 500-page books. Yeah, so a bunch of stuff went down in the last, like, 10 minutes. Because at one point I had 9 minutes left, and I still was like, oh, the ending's been good, but I still don't think I'm going to read it. And then it ended, and I was like, what? So basically, where I thought the books were going is absolutely not where the books are going. And I'm way more interested in what is actually going to be the focus of at least the next one, than I was on what was going on in this one. So, yeah, I think I might do it. I don't think I'm going to read them soon. I think I need a break. There's probably quite a waiting list anyway, so it's fine. But, yeah, so I'm like, I'm Jake. Why do you do this to me? Just make the book a book that I'm not going to enjoy or I am going to enjoy. Not one of these where, like, I don't enjoy reading it, but I really want to know what happens. It's been a couple of books like that. That's how I felt about the Neil Shusterman's Scythe trilogy. I got halfway through the first book and was like, nah. I care enough to, like, find a thing that gives a summary of what happens, but not enough to actually read it. I am more interested in 5th season. Like, that one, there was no question. I was not going to read it. This one, probably will. So that's that. Still working my way through Silent Knit, Deadly Knit. I hit the 200-page mark yesterday, so I only have like 85 pages left. So I should be able to finish it today or tomorrow, depending on just how much time I'm willing to exert reading today. We brought a puzzle to work. I brought a puzzle to work, I should say, and set it up yesterday. So in our downtime, we have a puzzle that we can work on. So I might work on that some instead of reading as much as I normally do in the downtime at work. Figured a puzzle is safe because we just like wash our hands before we start using it. Only one person can be working on the puzzle at a time, so we're not all like crowded around a table. And then my coworkers were kind enough to grant me putting up a Christmas tree at work. It's just from Dollar Tree, so it's literally like this big, but it's super cute. And I was like, yeah, we're festive. So I did that yesterday. And then today, my boss is buying us all lunch he wanted to do like an employee appreciation thing for all of us, like being so flexible through the whole pandemic and it just being like Christmas time and stuff. So we are getting teriyaki today. I'm very excited. And to be clear, this is something that he just wanted to do for us. This isn't like he's paying for this out of his own pocket. This is not like a party planning committee thing from corporate. Like this is just because I have an awesome boss. So everyone else out there with not so awesome bosses, I am sorry, mine is the best. It just is what it is. Yeah, I was looking back on the footage from this week and I have like 3 clips. Oops. Not much has been going on, guys. I've been really tired, so I've been coming home, watching some YouTube and going to bed. Hopefully, that was gross, sorry. Hopefully, more interesting things will happen over the weekend. I have no idea. But, I realized, so my normal work week is Tuesday through Friday. And then I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. So I have a 3-day weekend every week, which is awesome. But now, I didn't, up until a few days ago, I thought Christmas was on a Thursday, not a Friday for some reason. And my system is closed on Christmas Eve and Christmas, which means I have work today that I'm off. and then I have 3 days off today for this weekend. I work 2 days, and I have 5 days off. Then I work 3 days, and then I've got a 4-day weekend because we are also closed from New Year's Day. So the last 2 weeks of the year, I'm only working a grand total of 6 days. Can't complain with that. Hello. Hopefully these little ring things don't bother you because I don't want to have to take my glasses off. Just checking in at the end of the day. Wow, the end of my work day. I just got home and ate dinner, and I thought I would check in with you guys. I did redo my braids. I know everyone is relieved. They look I look less like a deranged witch now. It had gotten very big and very frizzy and very wispy. So I was like, oh yeah, something needs to be done about this. Let's see. You guys, I spent every free moment at work today working on the puzzle. I legitimately, I think it was a grand total of 2.5 hours. And as such, I got 18 whole pages read. Whoops. So I think it's 68 pages left. It's almost 7. I should be able to get that done tonight. Let's see, what else? I feel like there was something else I was going to tell you. And now I can't remember what it was. Because it was just those 2 things. So I've got my eggnog in my Batman mug. It's not really a Batman mug, but we went to this place down in Manzanita. And the owner's dog is their mascot, and it's on everything. And I was like, it looks like my dog. So had to get a mug to bring home. Okay, I have done 0 reading. 2 things. I finally remembered what else I was going to say. First of all, I was featured on my branch's Instagram page on Saturday. I will insert the picture here. So I'm basically famous. Don't worry, guys. I won't forget you when I'm huge. I won't forget the little people. No, it was just funny. I forgot it was going live, and then I get a message from my sister going, I know her, with a screenshot of the post. And I thought it was funny. Second of all, I just had it. What? Oh, I think I'm going to cut my hair tomorrow. I watched a video on how to do it, and I was like, that doesn't seem too hard. Which I realize is the quintessential set of famous last words. That doesn't seem so hard. But realistically, it doesn't seem so hard. And also, my hair is really gross at the ends. It's been a year since it was cut, and this poor hair, the stuff at the ends, was when I was left over from when I was dyeing my hair, and then went through being bleached to get the color out, and it's been through a hard time. And also, just going to work and home. My hair's in a bun or braids or ponytail most of the time anyway, so who cares? If it doesn't turn out great, it just means when I feel safe actually going and getting a haircut again, I'll have to get it cut short. Not the worst thing. I actually really like my hair short, so whatever, but yeah. So if I do end up doing that this weekend, I will take you guys along so you can watch me hopefully not fail. Yeah, so we'll see how it turns out if I do it. I'm 90% of the way there to being yeah, I'm just gonna cut my hair, and then the other 10% is do you really want to cut your own hair? I mean, I dyed my own hair for years, and I really liked the way it turned out. Cutting it is way worse or way less of a commitment because, like I said, if it turns out terrible, I can just put it in a ponytail and no one will ever know. And I was planning on getting my haircut short again anyway next time I got it cut. So, whatever. So then now it comes down to, will I be too lazy to cut it this weekend? That's the real question. We shall see. Stay tuned.
Are you recording?
Yes.
So we're giving Batman his present early. He's very curious about it.
Look at that concentration.
Batman, where's Mom? Go get her.
No, I can't, Dad. I gotta concentrate.
He might want it.
Come here, buddy.
Ready? It's much smaller than our previous one.
No, it's just because that one's all stretched out.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You didn't even squeak the squeaker.
He'll find the squeak.
Just have a view of his butt.
It doesn't
And...
squeak, man. Fine, I'll squeak it.
There's the magic.
All right, so we're doing it. I'm cutting my hair. I'm gonna do a little time lapse. This comb. Oh, it's like this comb's not working. There's literally like I've never used it before. There's like a plastic cap on the end. Okay, this end works fine. Yeah, I'm gonna do a time lapse. My hair was really gross this morning because I had been putting off washing it so that I could do this when Jonathan wasn't home. So I'm going to show you before and after, but the before is going to be from like last week. Yeah, so here we go.
How still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. O holy child of Bethlehem, descend to us, we pray. Cast out our sins and enter in. Be born to us today. We hear the Christmas angels, the great glad tidings tell. Oh, come to us, abide with us, our Lord Emmanuel.
Okay, so apparently my camera just decided I had been recording long enough. I styled it using my Revlon style brusher hair. It's a blow dryer and a round brush in one. I don't know what it's called. I might have gotten that recorded. I don't know. We'll see. But this is the after. Looks pretty good. I mean, obviously, when I get it professionally done, it looks way better. But I was just going for not looking like I cut it myself. Like, if I walk down the street, I don't think anyone's going to be like, oh, she clearly did her own hair. So, you know, I'm happy with that. It probably should have been cut a little bit more because I was just trying to get the damaged parts off. I actually liked the length before, but it was, like, real gross at the ends. Yeah, it's still damaged at the ends, but honestly, I feel like probably that's going to be the case until the bleach stuff grows out, which was way shorter than I was willing to cut it. So like, I am fine with short haircuts if done by a professional. I feel like you need a lot of skill to be able to make that look good, and I do not. This is clearly kind of a weird haircut, but like I said, it's mostly going to be in ponytails and braids and whatnot, and I just wanted it to not look gross. Okay, let me show you the aftermath here. Hold on.
This is what I cut off. So it was not an insignificant amount of hair. And then this over here is when I stained my floor dyeing my hair. I'm going to, hold on, let me turn you guys back around. I'm not going to tell Jonathan that I cut my hair. I'm kind of curious if he'll notice. He trims his beard all the time and then gets really bent when I don't notice. So I'm going to trim my hair, as I just did, and not tell him. And then if he watches Vlogmas, he'll find out that way if he hasn't noticed on his own. It's going to be really funny. So stay tuned and see if he notices. What do I have here? What do I have? Oh, give me a good sniff. How do you say please? I don't know. All right. What day are we on now?
Ben is also interested.
We're on day 7, but I can't find it. Oh, all the way at the top. You gotta sit down.
If you look at the countdown, we are a little behind.
Yeah. Today's the 21st, and we're opening day 7. Goodness. There we go.
I believe in you. Batman is interested. Hey, Batman.
All right. Okay, come here, Bubba. Sit.
Lay down, bud. Batman. Good boy.
Leave it. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. Sit. Good boy. Ready? Ben, I told you. Someone's getting attention. Sit. Let's try this again. Okay. Ready? If you get stepped on, it's your own fault. Ooh. Sit. Bubba. Good job. Good job, woo. Leave it. Oh, what? It's so bad. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. So gentle. Last one for now. Ready? Oh, I had to make you work for it. All right. Merry Christmas. All right. So I finished reading this guy several days ago now, and realized that I never gave my final thoughts on it, so I wanted to do that now. It was all right. It was utterly forgettable though. Someone really wants to join. He's like, "Ooh, that light is bright." Oh, it's happening. It's happening, people. You're really gonna do this? Now it just means you can't see my double chin. The main character has a very narrow view of the world, and if you don't fit in that view, she does not hesitate to share her disdain for your lifestyle, and we're talking like basically anything. So at one point, they go and they meet this guy who runs this shop where he's a collage artist, but he specializes in like horror and comic book content. And first of all, he was written like the author had literally never met someone into like nerd culture, but had just read stereotypes. Okay, this is like ridiculous. So he's got long, greasy hair. He's like super weird and doesn't really know how to hold a conversation without using a bunch of like
horror cliches, basically. And, you know, he's like, enter at your own risk if you dare, sort of a deal. Like everything he says is just way over the top. And I'm like, you couldn't have written him like an actual person. No, he's a complete caricature of stereotypes of people who are into like nerd culture things. So she had a couple of characters that were like that. She has another character who is like so timid. She literally, like, they found her hiding behind stuff in her store because a guy came in that like frightened her. And not because he was like violent, but just because she's like super timid. Anyway, so they go into his shop, and the main character's daughter starts having a conversation with him, and the daughter is, I don't think she's majoring in art, but is taking art classes while she's off at college. And so she's able to connect and actually ask him like questions about his art. And the mom's having this internal monologue where she's freaking out because she's like, what kind of characters is she hanging out with at school? I know she's taking art classes, so is she hanging out with artists? And then basically the lady is like, oh, I need to clutch my pearls thinking about my daughter hanging out with artistics at school. And I was just like, I hate to break it to you, but your daughter isn't artistic since she's taking art classes, and literally the opening scene, she's like sketching in the woods. That's where she finds the body. And you're an artistic since you run a knitting group and like create all of these things out of yarn. So it cracks me up because she just like cannot handle it. And then like there's another point where one of the ladies who's in the knitting group has had a baby, and she shows up at the Christmas party. And they're asking her what it's like to be the mom of a little girl or something to that effect. And she goes on this rant about how she's like raising a gender neutral baby. So she's not a little girl. They're going to let the child decide when she's older. And people are like, what do you mean? So she's trying to explain it, but she's like angry and belligerent about it the entire time. And I'm like, I can't tell if the author was like, hey, this is an important topic, let's talk about it, and just wrote it poorly, or if she's like, I'm going to make fun of the people that feel this way and make them seem like they're like belligerent nutters, because that's how the lady came off. And I legitimately am not sure if she was trying to bring up a topic but just didn't know how to write it well, or if she was actually basically like making fun of people that feel this way. I don't know. The answer is the writing in this book was iffy enough that I'm legitimately not sure. And like the main character goes off and like yells at a couple of different people in the book because she thinks they're making bad decisions. And it's not like you ran out in front of a car because you weren't paying attention. You shouldn't do that. That's not safe. It was, I don't approve of your life choices because they're different than my own. Like, she doesn't like the guy her daughter's going on a date with, and her daughter, who's 19 and not living at home, is just visiting from school for the winter, or for like winter break. She like tears into her about it. I thought you would make good decisions in life, sort of a thing. And the daughter's like, I'm an adult and I feel like this is a good decision, so you need to back off. And we are very full on the battery storage, so my phone keeps cutting me off. But yeah, anyway, I just, like, the main character is not very likable because she feels like she knows how everyone else should be living her life and does not hesitate to tell everyone she doesn't agree with their life choices. And she has like a very narrow view of what someone's life should be. And she's just, I read a couple other reviews and other people were like, her descriptions are unbelievably repetitive, which was my other thing. Literally every time her friend shows up, she's wearing the pumpkin colored coat. She can't just say her coat, dressed for the weather, nothing. Always her pumpkin colored coat. It must have come up 35 times in the book. every time she pulls something out to make coffee or whatever, we get a whole description of the process. Every spoon she uses. Every time she pulls out her dishes, we are reminded that they are her wedding china with the floral pattern around the edge. Even her friend across the street, we are always reminded that they're using their sage green earthenware. Like, it's very tedious. And it's not like Lord of the Rings where it's like long and goes on forever. It's just sprinkled a lot throughout. So you can get past it if you want to, but also like you don't have to because, it's a cozy mystery. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I just started Christmas Carol on Audible. They have included with Audible narrated by Tim Curry, and I'm like an hour in or so, and it's awesome, you guys. It's so good. So highly recommend if you want to listen to something. It's only 3.5 hours long, so it's not too late to start it and still be done before Christmas. So, all right. This might be my last check-in before we're done, but I heard that Jonathan filmed something on his own. Because I told him, I was like, you're allowed to, like, film stuff for Vlogmas, too. It doesn't just have to be you in clips that I'm filming. Like, if you come across something when I'm not around, you can film it. And he told me he did, but I'm not going to find out what it is until I go to edit the vlog. So, you've probably already seen it, because this was several days ago. But I have no idea what it is, so we shall see. Okay, a couple of things. First, the dog is here. And the cat. Hold on. Say hello, Bubba. He's like, oh, that light is bright. Second of all, can you hear the rain? It's been raining so hard. We had to do an appointment today, and the road was like legit flooded in a couple of spots that we drove through, and that was like 4 hours ago. So I'm assuming stuff is just even worse now because it wasn't even raining as hard then as it is now. Yeah, so I was just like, I wonder if they can hear the rain on the video. I hope so. Third, the thing that Jonathan, I thought had filmed for Vlogmas, he said he had an idea of something to film for Vlogmas, and he hasn't had a chance yet. So that will maybe be in next week's vlog, hopefully. And then finally, he didn't notice the haircut. I kind of expected him to at least notice that my hair was down and styled. Is that thunder? Oh no. I think it's just a plane going over. He kept trying to put his arm behind me on the couch, and every time I was like, you're pulling my hair. And so he was like, sorry. And I was like, well, it's not normally down. And he was like, it looks nice. So like after I pointed out that it was down, he was like, oh, it looks nice. And that was the extent of it. So he did not notice. And now I can shame him. All right, guys, I'm actually going to go and edit this now. So I'll see you next week.